Today we're going to be making short ribs. I am so excited because these are a style that are boneless and they're called country ribs. So this is a container. I already got them out. But it is an awesome recipe because it's very affordable and it's something you could have anytime and you can find them anywhere. So this will also work with short ribs. You basically just sear them in your Instant Pot and then you just cook them for about 60 to 90 minutes and they will come out super tender and juicy. Picking up these country short ribs at Aldi. They're $4.89. They're boneless short ribs. They're very fatty. Great deal. A little over a pound. So excited. This one is $6.89. It's 1.41 pounds. Aldi has a really good meat selection. I'm going to be making these country ribs. First things first is to open the package, put them in your Instant Pot, and sear the bottom. Make sure and put some salt on. So you want to flip them over. They have a nice crust on one side. You can see that crust. So now I'm just going to sear the other side. Okay, so now add your water. You can add enough water to cover them. So now you added your water. Make sure it's enough to kind of cover them. And then you just put your lid on. Put your lid on, lock it in place. So I set it on meat stew for 90 minutes, 80 to 90 minutes would be good. This has just been released, so all the pressure went out. And they're in there, getting soft. So let's see if they're tender. Ooh, yeah, perfect. You can see they're super tender. So you could eat them just like this, or another option is to put them into the air fryer and that will crisp up these little bits. You could put them in the air fryer for about 5 minutes and that would crisp it up and be more like, kind of like a barbecue or something like that. So just put it in the air fryer on 350 for 5 to 7 minutes and that'll crisp it all up. So bon appetit. Okay, so now I've crisped them up a little bit in the air fryer, and so you can see they're a little more crispy. So I'm just gonna take a bite. They're pretty hot. So good. Okay, so I wanna give you a few more tips about short ribs. So you can take them out a few minutes before. It's not as important as steak where you wanna get it to room temperature, but feel free to do that if you want to. Make sure and salt them on all sides. And before you do that, make sure that you dry them off so there's not excess water, because that will create a steaming effect and that is not what you want. So you can dry them off. Put a lot of salt on all sides. You can put pepper if you're using it. It's not mandatory to use pepper. Really, salt is the main thing that you need. Also, you want to make sure your pan is super, super hot. So that's really important. You're gonna get a good sear on the outside. So make sure you warm up your pan or your Instant Pot before you put your short ribs in. And you can use boneless or regular. That's really important. Searing is super important to make sure that you lock in that flavor, and that is just going to increase and enhance the flavor because of that Maillard reaction. That is the browning process that takes place. So that's really important to brown them on all sides. So don't be lazy and skip this step. So you can make short ribs in the oven as well, but then it's really important to make sure it does not dry up. So you have to make sure they're fully covered. Now in an Instant Pot, you don't need as much liquid because it's sealed and all the liquid stays inside. But in an oven, it's going to be very important. So make sure that you check your water level several times during the cooking process, because it can dry up and then you have a big burn up mess. So that's really important. Okay, one secret of chefs and cooks. My husband is a chef and he went to culinary school in San Francisco, and he always uses broth instead of water, or you can use, some people call it stock. Chefs call it stock usually. Us nutrition types call it bone broth. It is different, but it kind of does the same thing as far as flavor wise. So you want, of course, bone broth has more nutrition, but a stock is going to be just the simmered meats probably, but they both gonna add a lot. Both are going to add a lot of flavor. So if you want to enhance your recipe, you can use broth. I have a link for a broth that I like down in the description box, so check that out in my Amazon shop. So like I was saying before, make sure that you cover it. And like I said, in the Instant Pot, it is not going to be an issue because it's going to be sealed up so tight. But in the oven, make sure you seal it. You can even put, some people put aluminum foil over the pan and then put the heavy lid, like with a Dutch oven. That's going to keep that liquid in there really well, because if you do it in the oven, it's going to take 2 or 3 hours to do that. So you want to do it on a low temperature, like 300, something like that. In the Instant Pot, it's going to be really fast and it's going to be really hot, and all the moisture is going to stay in because it's super sealed from the top. How do you know when they're done? Well, you just want to open it up and test it with a fork and see if they're fork tender. So if they're falling apart, you can just know that they're all done. And they're just going to be so tasty. So another option you can do is to put them in the air fryer, or some people put them in the broiler in the oven. And that's just to crisp up all the little fatty parts that some people don't like the moisture in there. So that'll crisp up all those fatty parts and make them a little more palatable. So that's an extra step that you can do. Chefs do that sometimes with bone-in short ribs. The boneless short ribs, you can put them in the air fryer and shred them up, and then they become almost like a barbecue. So that is an option for you, and it will enhance it, especially if you don't really like braised meat. That'll take away that braised texture that a lot of people don't like because it's kind of wet and soggy. So that'll crisp it up and make it a little more palatable for people who are kind of on the fence about braised meats. So I hope these tips have been helpful for your next attempt at doing short ribs, whether they be boneless or bone-in. That's a really affordable cut, and you can find them in Whole Foods. You can find them in many other stores. You can find them in Walmart. And if you don't find them in your regular grocery store, check a little off the beaten path. Maybe at a ethnic store, you can find some more different cuts that you haven't seen in your regular supermarket, but they should be really easy to find and they're very affordable. And you can get grass-fed or not. It works either way. So I hope that's been helpful. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hi there. Thanks so much for watching the last video. I really appreciate it. Now I want to make sure that you know that I just wrote an ebook all about how to do the carnivore diet, and it's called the 30-Day Carnivore Diet Challenge, and it is just amazing. I am just so proud of it. I worked on it for so long, and it's 182 pages. It has 2 meal plans. It has shopping lists. It has so many amazing features, and it's not just the straight carnivore diet. It has my tweaks and recommendations on how to do it more effectively, more efficiently. And if you get it before January 1st, you will be added to our coaching group where you will get my free coaching for 1 month. And I will be doing live coaching every single day, or my sister who co-wrote it with me will be doing the live coaching every single day. So we're going to trade off and do that coaching group together. So it is going to be amazing, and I don't want you to miss out. So make sure you buy my book before January first, and you will be added to that group, and it is just going to be so much fun. So I can't wait to see you in there. So swipe up to get my book, or visit the link in the profile, or go to carnivore30.info, carnivore30.info. So thanks so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.